from Tackles and Geeks.
Welcome to another great edition of Otakus and Geeks, underrated games you should play. Today's edition, we are going to be looking at Green Lantern, the Rise of the Manhunters. Now, I know what you guys are probably thinking. Oh my goodness, he put a movie game on here? Believe it or not, this movie game tie-in is actually better than the actual movie, and it's really not that bad. And I'm going to explain why. First of all, let me just give you a premise of the game. The Manhunters are an android race originally created by the Guardians of the Universe to serve as the first interstellar police force. The Manhunters became more obsessed with administering punishment than serving justice, forcing the Guardians to dissolve their ranks. The few Manhunters that survived fled into exile, and the Guardians founded a new elite force called the Green Lanterns and armed its members with specifically created craft power rings. Now the Manhunters are back and out for revenge, readying the forces for a war against the Guardians and the Green Lantern Corps. Faced with destruction, the Corps is looking for a gifted but cocky test pilot, Hal Jordan, as their newest recruit. Now this is actually a tie-in to the Green Lantern movie. This actually happens during the time Hal's training was going on. They had a whole Adamsor funeral and everything else. So this is actually a really good tie-in. And the reason why I say this game is really underrated, well, because number one, this game is really fun to play. And just based off the gameplay, it plays a lot like God of War, especially when it comes to the battle mechanics. So for those who are a fan of God of War, just think of it as a watered down God of War with Green Lantern, and you're going to have a blast with this. Another great thing about this game is the constructs, which I'm going to show you right now. You have various constructs to use. Here I'm using the Gatling gun, which is one of my favorites. You also have the baseball bat, and then you have the combos here where Hal is able to just do various combos using swords, using that big hammer as you see there. There is a lot of constructs for you, and it really gives you the feel of Green Lantern. Like I previously said in the James Bond rated games games that you should play with Bloodstone, you really see here, I feel like I'm Green Lantern playing this. I feel like I'm Hal Jordan. This game does well of capturing the spirit of Green Lantern, and it's just not a beat 'em up here. There's also a type of sin and punishment type of style gameplay, which you'll see a rail shooter as well. And as you can see with the constructs here, I was trying to, but I'm getting beat up by the Manhunters. Hal's able to throw his jet. But there's also more constructs, which I'm going to show you momentarily, which you're able to choose from. And as the levels progress, you get to learn new constructs and you can use more combos, and it's just a really fun game. And it's also voiced by Ryan Reynolds, which is another great addition to the game. He does a solid performance here, and it's something I hope you guys really enjoy playing. I mean, the story is solid. It's better than the movie. It's one of the great, I would say, one of the better video games based off a movie or a movie game tie-in, and it's pretty underrated. I mean, a lot of people gave this a shaft because it was like a God of War, watered down God of War clone, but it is a blast to play. And I thought, you know, just the production, the music, the soundtrack is amazing, especially at the end. They have the main theme that plays. It's a great soundtrack. And now I'm going to show you more of the constructs here. You got Ring Blaster, Warhammer. You have Hover Mine, which you're able to shoot into holes to blow up. Mace Storm, which is one of my favorites. I'm definitely going to show you guys that. You have the mech suit, which I'm going to show you. Let's see, you got the Gatling gun, the jet flights, and you have the pistol blimps. You have 12 constructs in all, which is pretty deep. And not to mention the constructs that you have with basic combos. So let me show you guys how this is gonna work. So let's get back into this. I'm gonna show you some new ones, which is, this is one of my favorites right here. That is so badass, and it takes out so much enemies here. And you have that, and then one of my favorites is also the mech suit, which I'm gonna show you momentarily. Let's do it. And as you can see on the upper right corner, when Hal's meter gets all the way blue, he goes into this green ultimate Green Lantern mode where he's able to just power up, and he's a little bit invincible. It's just more powerful here. And I forgot what I'm supposed to do here. Oh wait, that's right, I'm supposed to grab it. But let me show you more of these combos here. And there you go. But let me show you, fast forward a little bit, and we're going to show you more gameplay besides the beat 'em up aspect. You also have this really fun space rail shooter type of element here, which reminds me a lot of Sin and Punishment, which is for the Nintendo Wii, and just a lot of the flying rail shooters. I mean, this game really does Green Lantern justice. Yes, it has its problems. Yes, it could get a little bit repetitive because it is a beat 'em up, but it's a very fun game, and it should be cheap by now. So if you guys can get your hands on this, this is something I recommend you getting and checking out because it's a really fun movie tie-in. It has a great story. Ryan Reynolds gives a solid performance. The soundtrack is great. It's fun. It's challenging on the hardest level. It gets a little challenging. Boss battles are pretty decent. You have a beat 'em up with some quick time events here. It's a really solid Green Lantern game, and I'm hoping that we'll see more Green Lantern games in the future that has the same premise. So this is Justin from MatacosGeeks.com, giving you guys a nice underrated game shout out to Green Lantern Rise of Manhunters. I'll catch you on the next one. Later, guys.
Manhunter ships attack.